Where were you before you were born? This is a very strange question, and most people's answer is that life begins when we come out of our mother's womb. But the ancient Vedanta says something which is very different. It says existence always exists, and you can never experience non-existence because non-existence does not exist, which in turn means that you always existed and you will continue to exist even after the physical death. The body may change, the mind may change, but you remain the same. The Garbhopanishad says that at the point of birth, the soul's memories from the past lives are wiped out. A force called Vaishnava Prana clears away these conscious memories, giving the child a new beginning. In this important video, we will trace back that hidden journey. You will understand how a soul or a subtle body carries its old impressions but still experiences a new life as though it is a fresh one, as though it is living from scratch. And all this brings us to the first question, which is, what if we were conscious even before we were born? The Adhvaitha channel is about consciousness and conscious creation. Here we explore Vedanta and various ancient teachings from India to understand the nature of reality and to consciously create our lives. The first part of the video is about the journey before birth. Picture a tiny being resting in the womb, yet already carrying hidden seeds from countless past lives. These seeds are the impressions of old actions, joys, fears, and regrets. The ancient Garbhopanishad says the mind of the fetus is highly active because there are no distractions from the outer senses. In that quiet space, those impressions feel vivid and alive. These impressions stay in the unborn child like a vast storehouse of memories. Along with this, the child also feels the moods of the mother. If she feels calm, a gentle sense of safety comes. If she feels anxious, the small being within her shares that anxiety. This is why the womb is described as a place where the past and the present are layered together. The child experiences the past and the present simultaneously. Imagine a traveler who travels from one place to another. When he enters a new country and a new city, and when he checks into a new room, all of his old baggage in terms of his clothes and his belongings still come with him. This is how we need to look at birth and rebirth. We still carry the past with us. In the same way, the soul steps into a new family, still carrying the karmic seeds of past lives. The new body and parents are not chosen at random, but the subtle karma guides the soul to the exact place and family that matches those seeds, just as the right soil is chosen for a specific seed to grow. This shows that birth is not just about biology. The soul is directed to a specific condition, to specific parents, based on alignment, based on the nature of karma it carries, and based on the nature of karma and memory that the parents carry. Only if there is alignment, there is a match. And this is how each child is born in a specific place at specific time where it can continue its journey, where it can continue its self-discovery. The conditions of life, whether in wealth or poverty, health or struggle, are shaped by these deep patterns. But there is something which is very puzzling here. If there are so much of memories that is embedded within us, if we carry such large amounts of data as children, as babies, then why don't we remember it? Now, to explain this, the Garbhopanishad talks about something called as the Vaishnava Prana. Just as the child is ready to emerge into the world, a cleansing force acts. This power wipes away the sharp memory of earlier lives, and it only leaves away the unconscious imprint, which is buried deep, while the conscious mind is cleared of all old memories. This will give an illusion of a new, fresh life. And this will also help us manage our emotions and our life better. Swami Vivekananda gave a very simple answer to this question. When asked about why can't we remember our past lives, Vivekananda said, You don't even remember what you ate yesterday. How are you supposed to remember what you did thousands of years ago? So it's just that those memories still exist deep within the unconscious mind, but our conscious mind simply has no access to it yet. But there are great yogis and rishis who, through various practices and systems, are able to access those memories. But this forgetfulness is not a mistake, it is nature's gift. Without it, we would be dragged down by the emotional weight from countless earlier lives. By clearing these memories, the infant is allowed to start a new life without old resentments or grief blocking the way. In this way, whenever a new child is born, it is not a fresh life, but it is just a beginning of the new chapter where previous chapters already exist. But if life begins again with every birth, then what takes place in the gap after death? What happens between the two chapters? With this, let's come to an interesting part, that is the gap between birth and death. What happens there? Have you ever wondered what happens the very moment after you die? The body becomes still, breath and heartbeat stop, but then what happens after that? Vedanta says death is just the death of the physical shell. It is like us changing our clothes. It doesn't mean anything significant. And just like our physical body, the Sthula Sharira, we have our subtle body, the Sukshma Sharira, which travels from one physical body to next at the time of the physical death. The subtle body has three parts. First is prana, the vital force that keeps the system alive. Second is the mind, which holds your thoughts and feelings. Third are the karmic impressions, the unseen record of your past actions. These three stay with you when the physical body is left behind. The Garbhopanishad makes it even more clear. It talks about intricate details on how, when someone dies with confusion, stays at an unconscious realm in that place of confusion for some time until everything cools down and until that energy, that subtle body is ready for another physical birth. And in that unconscious realm, they undergo experiences of pain and pleasure according to past karma. They remain in that state until the strongest impression from their earlier life rises to the surface, and that becomes the seed of their new birth. That is why if there is an unfinished lesson in the past life, you will be drawn to certain events and circumstances in this life through which you will face that lesson again until the lesson is learnt. If happiness is due for you because of your past good karma or earlier merit, the right conditions appear to allow that joy. The law of karma is very exact. To most people, death looks like the end of everything. But this is not how Vedanta says it. It is more like a changing set of clothes at the end of the day. Between two births, there is also a pause. Outwardly, this looks like emptiness. Inwardly, karmic forces are moving. They shape which impression rises strongest. When the impression takes hold, it pushes the subtle body toward the womb that matches its path, and the new life quietly begins. Now we discuss the physical body and the subtle body. But Vedanta says you are neither the physical body that dies at the time of death, nor the subtle body which travels from one body to the next. So if you are not the Sthula Sharira, if you are not the Sukshma Sharira, then what are you? Here we come to the final part, which is about the three bodies and the unchanging self, the Atman. There is a framework called Shariratraya Viveka, which talks about the three bodies each of us have. At first, there is the physical body that we can see, feel and touch. Beyond that is the subtle body with the mind and the prana. But beyond that is the causal body with unconscious memories and karma and ignorance. But beyond that is our true unchanging nature as the witness consciousness. That is what we must tap into, and that is the goal of life. Going beyond the 3 points of identification, going beyond the three bodies, and recognizing ourselves as the unchanging consciousness is what we call moksha or mukti, which will end the unconscious cycle of samsara, that is the cycle of birth and death. The physical body is made of 5 elements: earth, water, fire, air, and space. It grows, it eats, it moves, and one day it falls. Through this body, we can see and feel and hear and touch, and we interact with the world and we experience various things. But it is also very fragile. It can be hurt, it can be touched, and it can be destroyed in this physical dimension. Then comes the second body, which is the subtle body, which you cannot see with your eyes, but it is always active. It holds prana, the force of life. It carries the mind, intellect, the choices and emotions. When you feel joy or sadness, it moves through this body, the subtle body. At the time of death, like we discussed, this subtle body moves on to the next physical body. It is like a traveler who keeps carrying the luggage of old habits and karmic seeds. These impressions are what links one life to another. The third body is the Karana Sharira, the causal body, which cannot be talked about much. It is non-local in nature, which means it doesn't exist in one particular place, but it carries all the impressions of past. It also carries certain identification, which Vedanta calls as avidya or ignorance, which separates us from our true essence, which is Atman or consciousness. To make this clear, think of a computer. The physical body is like hardware that you can see and touch. The subtle body is like the software, thoughts, feelings, and memory that run every process. But the causal body is the source code, the hidden program that shapes how your software will behave. All of these three things put together makes you who you are and makes every life experience possible. But the paradox is you are none of these things. You are not the physical body, you are not the subtle body, you are not even the causal body. Vedanta says you are the Atman, the unchanging witness consciousness. And this is not just a belief system, this is a fact, this is the truth, which you can see for yourself right here, right now. Right now, just look at your own experience. You're listening to me through the video and your eyes are engaged and they're looking at the video. Your physical body is what you can see and experience. But beyond that is the mind. Here you're thinking about different concepts, you're trying to understand them, you're trying to internalize them. So this is the mind, which you can also understand. But beyond the body and the mind, there is an aspect of you which is simply witnessing what is happening. It is not controlling anything, it is not actively doing anything, but it is allowing everything to happen. That is your consciousness, your awareness. Your consciousness is the foundation within which you are experiencing this video, right? Without your consciousness, nothing can happen. Now, this consciousness is who you truly are, and this consciousness is what is beyond the physical body, the subtle body, and the causal body. Realizing the Atman is the purpose of Vedanta. When you truly see that you are this consciousness, fear of death drops away. You are not attached to anything, nor are you detached from everything. You just exist as you are, as that unchanging witness consciousness. And with that comes peace and deep sense of fulfillment. And also a new understanding that you are not confined to the body that rises and falls. You are the awareness or consciousness that uses it, just as the traveler uses clothes for some time. So finally, Vedanta teaches us two clear lessons here. Number one, you are not the physical body that is born and that will die. And second, when you actually understand this and recognize this, all forms of fear fades away, including the fear of death. And a quiet search begins. The search for your true self, that unchanging self. That is the search that truly matters in anyone's life. So before you sleep tonight, as you go to bed, just bring this thought in your awareness. Who am I? Am I the body that is going to sleep? Am I the mind which still stays awake, dreaming different dreams? Or am I the witness behind and beyond the body and mind, which is eternal and which always is? Just have this thought and go through this process of self-inquiry, which might take you to some profound revelations.